The story you heard about Jeffrey Epstein was never complete.
It's an 8-armed octopus. And if you take just trafficking out, that arm will grow back. You have to take the head.
They caught one person, they took control of one island, they shut down one case, then they told everyone it was finished. But Jim Caviezel, the actor that Hollywood tried to silence for speaking about this, has been warning about something powerful people don't want to go viral. 850,000, that's the number of children he claims are missing. 850,000 kids, not in the past, not history, right now, and this next part should chill you completely. Epstein was not the whole system. He was only the name people finally discovered. Many agencies are involved at the highest levels. The same agencies meant to stop this are part of it. So if Epstein is gone, the island is gone, and the files are released, why are 850,000 children still missing? Because the islands never vanished. They just stopped attaching famous names to the visitors. After Epstein died in prison in 2019, the world was told a simple story. Case closed. Evil man gone, system worked. They gave you one villain, they gave you one island, they gave you one name, and then the man who knew all the other names died before he could say any of them in court. He died in federal custody in 2019 under conditions many people still doubt were accidental. His cellmate was moved the night before. The cameras near his cell stopped working at the same time. No cellmate, no cameras, the man dead. And soon after, the media quietly moved on. But Caviezel didn't move on, because he realized something most people were not ready to accept. Epstein wasn't someone who created a system. He was just one part of a system that already existed. Think about that. You don't create a network of private jets, islands, properties, and connections with presidents and billionaires by yourself. You don't move and traffic minors across countries alone. And you don't die inside a high-security prison with no cameras or witnesses just by bad luck. This was a system, a structure, and when you destroy one part of a structure, the system itself does not disappear. Caviezel has been saying this for years, long before it became safe to say it, long before millions started watching clips of him as people finally began to understand. He didn't just act in a movie about this. He warned about this exact moment. He spoke early. He was pushed out for it, and now many names he pointed to are appearing in official documents. So let's look at what those documents confirmed and, more importantly, what they suggest is still happening today. When the Epstein files were released on December 19, 2025, and again on January 30, 2026, people expected a few guilty names and a clean ending. Instead, there were millions of pages, thousands of photos, logs, emails, and FBI records. And what happened next? The same pattern as always. News channels focused on a few names, discussed them briefly, then moved on. Most people ignored it. Meanwhile, the real system, where Epstein was only one visible part, kept running, because here's what isn't being said openly. Little St. James was just one location. There are hundreds of islands in the Caribbean alone. There are private island groups in the Pacific. There are estates in Europe far larger than Epstein's. And the powerful people, the billionaires with jets, yachts, legal protection, and offshore money, did not suddenly change when Epstein died. Caviezel has been clear, this is not a finished story. It is still ongoing. Children are being pulled into horrific situations. He said this openly on camera, and Hollywood made sure no one would publicly support him. You talk about this, you're out, not a suggestion, a warning. A film about saving children was pushed down by powerful media systems. That's not random, that's a reaction. Something felt threatened. And when something powerful reacts like that, you have to ask, what are they protecting?
If you touch this thing, you will be out, you will be done. You'll be finished in 3 years.
Let's be clear, because this is where rumors turn into patterns, and patterns become hard to ignore. We know from official released documents that some of the most powerful people in the world had connections to Jeffrey Epstein, not by chance, not indirectly, repeatedly. Bill Gates had multiple recorded meetings over several years. Photos show him at Epstein's properties. He later admitted Epstein had damaging information about him. His own words, he said it was a mistake to be involved. A mistake. A billionaire with massive resources and advisors repeatedly visited a known offender's locations and called it a mistake. Howard Lutnick publicly criticized Epstein and said he cut ties long ago, yet his family traveled to the island by yacht. The official explanation called it limited interaction. He currently holds a high government position. Prince Andrew had hundreds of emails, not just a few. Messages show ongoing contact. In one email, he expressed support during a scandal, saying they were in this together. That's not casual language, that sounds like partnership. Bill Clinton was also linked, seen in photos on flights and connected through multiple records. When questioned during investigations, he and Hillary Clinton refused to testify.
I don't remember anything about it.
A movie about saving children was suppressed by powerful media forces. That is not coincidence, it is protection. Something powerful reacted, and when that happens, you must ask what they are trying to hide. Let's get specific again. Official records confirm that wealthy and influential individuals had repeated connections to Epstein, not once, not by accident, repeatedly. Bill Gates visited multiple times. Photos and statements confirm this. He later admitted it was a poor decision. A billionaire with endless advice and protection still made that mistake. Howard Lutnick publicly distanced himself, yet connections remain remained through family visits. Official statements minimized it, yet he still holds a major government role. Prince Andrew exchanged hundreds of emails. Some show ongoing support and coordination. His words showed closeness, not distance. Bill Clinton was also present in records, photos, and travel logs. When questioned, both he and Hillary Clinton chose not to speak.
Especially when 85,000 children had crossed the border this last year and disappeared. Where did they disappear to?
He claims he doesn't remember. Now here is the key question Caviezel keeps asking, the one that explains everything else. If these are the names we know from documents released after years of pressure, how many names are still hidden? How many meetings happened on islands other than Little St. James? How many flights landed on private runways never recorded? How many deals happened in places that will never cooperate with investigations? The system didn't depend on Epstein. He was useful because he became the face. Now that he is gone, the system continues without one. Let's look at numbers. Caviezel has said publicly that over 300,000 children in the United States are pulled into illegal operations every year. And then there are tens of thousands of children who crossed borders and disappeared from records completely.
You know, when we were down in Cartagena, the guys would come up, traffickers, and they would, right in front of us, ask us if we wanted niñas or niños, and little boys or little girls. And
no tracking, no follow-up, no clear answers from authorities. During his testimony, he mentioned an even larger number, 850,000 missing children. That number should have dominated the news everywhere. Instead, it was barely mentioned before attention shifted elsewhere. Now connect that to something Caviezel personally witnessed. This happened openly during the day in a place tourists visit regularly. Not hidden, not secret, a public setting, and public markets exist because there is demand. Epstein didn't create that demand, he served it. And when he died, the demand remained. That demand drives everything, the islands, the jets, the silence, the systems built around it, and that system still exists. If media covered the current reality instead of past events, the real question wouldn't be who was there, it would be where the other locations are. Systems like this don't hide in darkness. They hide in plain sight. They use trusted faces to appear safe and respectable. Caviezel calls these people legitimizers. One name he often mentions is Oprah Winfrey. Her name does not appear in official Epstein files. What he points to is a pattern. She supported Harvey Weinstein for years, even as allegations later surfaced. She promoted John of God, who was later convicted of serious crimes. She also opened a school that faced controversy soon after. Caviezel's point is not direct accusation, it's about structure. Systems like this need trusted public figures to appear legitimate. Whether knowingly or not, they play a role. They make the system invisible. And once you understand that, you start questioning everything differently: celebrity connections, charities, public endorsements. The real question is not just who was involved, but who made it all seem normal. Caviezel has spoken openly about the cost of saying this. He lost opportunities, he was pushed out. Stories like Anne Hetch add more questions. Her death was ruled an accident, but some people close to her doubt that conclusion. These claims are not confirmed facts, but they are part of the discussion. Meanwhile, Caviezel continues speaking publicly consistently despite consequences. He testified before Congress. He raised the issue of missing children. He questioned whether agencies knew. The response has mostly been silence, and that leads to two possibilities: either they didn't know or they did. If they didn't know, it suggests failure. If they did know, it suggests involvement. The files confirmed past connections. But they do not explain what is happening now. The system continues. The demand continues, and the people behind it have not disappeared. Caviezel warned about this long before it became widely known. He says this is not the end, it is the beginning of something bigger being exposed. The real story was never just about one island. It was about a global system, and that system still exists today.